All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today for our This is Public Health Virtual Graduate Fair. We have a really great group of schools with us today that are going to present for you all, and I'm sure that you'll get some great information and you will ask some wonderful questions as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we will be having a Q&A session at the end of the presentations. So you can absolutely feel free to leave any questions in the chat box at the bottom of your screen if you have any. If it's for a specific school or about a specific program, they may answer it during the conversation, but any general questions you have, we'll save them for the Q&A session, and then we'll give all of our presenters a chance to give their input and see their answers. So if you want to change the view and hide any non-video little rectangles in the Zoom call, you can follow the instructions on the screen now. This may just help look it a little cleaner as you're watching throughout the presentation, especially once we get to the Q&A session. So I'll leave this up for a second so that you all can follow it if you'd like. So this is our list of presenters. We have 7 today, 7 great presentations. The list is here. I think it's going to be really wonderful. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Florida International.
Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. Thank you, and thank you everyone for being here. My name is Jose Candelaria, and I am the admissions manager here at Stemple College and the recruiter. And I'm also accompanied here with my colleague, Fiorella Suyon, who's the public health coordinator, and will be able to assist with any technical questions based on application, admission criteria, and we can answer those questions later on in the chat room. But again, I wanted to thank you for being here, and we are, the long name is the Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work. And we have 4 different programs here. We have obviously public health, we have dietetics and nutrition, social work, and disaster management. We're one of the smaller colleges here within Florida International University, but we have a lot of things happening. And one of the things by being a smaller college, we definitely have a very personal contact with our students from beginning all the way through graduation and even through employment. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But our reputation and diversity, for those of you that are looking for a diverse program down here in Miami, the university is very diverse and our community is very diverse, and our faculty and staff are also very diverse. So, and that's usually very important for a lot of different careers and your studies. And within our public health program, we do have several concentrations. We have biostatistics, epidemiology, infectious disease, health promotion and disease prevention, health disparities, maternal and child health, environmental health sciences, environmental toxicology, brain behavior in the environment, and we also have a fully online generalist MPH degree. You'll find that most of our concentrations offer both an MPH and a PhD program. The ones that probably don't, we can get into a little bit later within the chat room, but our online generalist degree is an MPH, and our maternal and child health program only presently is offering an MPH. However, our other concentrations do offer both an MPH and a PhD if that's a route that you'd want to go. We are number 44 among public health universities. We are CEF accredited. We also offer dual degrees in some of our programs, specifically the MSW MPH program, which we do have a lot of inquiries on. And again, we can go into detail as far as how to apply for that. How do you basically the admission criteria when it comes to that. And as I alluded, our fully online program is a very big and sought after program. And all of our programs do include a practicum, which gives you a lot of opportunity and professional experience. And where I mentioned earlier, as far as quality, you know, we are ranked, as I mentioned earlier here, you'll see we're number 44 within US News and World Report. We're one of the, being a public institution, our tuition is on the lower end, which allows a lot of students to get a very good education and really not fall into some of the expenses that we have seen in the past. Our research is second to none where it comes for our learning opportunities, and we have our labs where we're presently doing Parkinson's research as far as certain heavy metals affecting or affecting towards Parkinson's disease. Our dean has his own lab where they're looking at basically being able to reverse some effects of lead in the bloodstream towards the brain. We're doing a lot of cancer research. There's a lot happening within Stemple College. And flexibility, we allow for part-time or full-time studies. So, you do have that ability to depending on because a lot of our students are professionals and are presently working. So sometimes from semester to semester, they may need to change their study load, academic load. So as I mentioned, we do have a lot happening within our different programs here. But most of our students do work. You'll see here where a lot of them have what they're doing now as far as working in the Department of Health, state emergency responses. They're doing a lot of internships at the hospitals. And the good thing about this is that a lot of our students, once they enter and they begin their practicum stage, they will have a conversation when we do have two practicum coordinators, one for the online program and one for our concentrations. And you'll be able to work with your faculty and the practicum coordinator to see what it is that you want to do. And you do have that ability to choose your own career. So our admission criteria is 3.0. We're basically looking at a 3.0 towards your undergraduate degree. So your last 60 credits of your undergraduate degree, not cumulative. We have removed the GRE, and so you'll see we do need letters of recommendations and a copy and your resume and basically your undergraduate from an accredited university. So a completed undergraduate degree from an accredited university. However, we're looking at your last 60 credits, your junior and senior year. We do have funding available. And this is the website where you can see, so we have funding within our college, within the university, and you can also look for other types of funding outside of the university. So there are different ways that we can basically provide certain funding. We do have a person within our office, Irene Abad, who I can later provide that information, and you can definitely look into what's available when you decide to apply. And this is our contact information. I'm going to leave a little bit more details for the breakout room and for questions. And I'd like to introduce the next person from Des Moines University, Department of Public Health. And thank you very much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, Jose. And you got a big thumbs up for me for dropping the GRE requirement. We've also done the same thing, so I'm glad to see that.
A lot of people have.
Yeah. Good morning from Des Moines, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're joining us from. I'm Janine Moody. I'm the Vice Chair of the Department of Public Health here at Des Moines University. Also feel like I need to give some street cred here. While I am a faculty member and a full-time faculty member in our program, I'm also a 20-year public health practitioner. And so I will give you a little bit of data and story about our program in the very brief time I have this morning, but mostly I'm very invested in our future public health workforce wherever you choose to go to school. So I would hope that you reach out to me via LinkedIn or email to really have a more robust conversation that we can have here today. So as a public health practitioner and a public health advocate, we always say the data tell, the stories sell. And so here are the facts that you're probably interested in about our program. Completely online, one of the first fully online MPH programs in the country and fully accredited since we've been online. And our students can complete the program in 2 years. But to be honest, most of our students are working full-time professionals who are balancing school and work and tend to take about 3 years to do that. Also sharing a bit of my story, I too am working full-time and working on my doctorate in public health leadership in an online program. And so I try to bring that authenticity and building of community in an online program to our students. You can see we have 3 concentrations. generalist concentration, which is really valuable because of the evolving scope of our practice. We need practitioners who are able to adapt and learn and continue to acquire new skills throughout their practice. Our public health administration and policy track. Within our Department of Public Health, we also offer a master's in health care administration. So we have some dual degree students. So the interprofessional experience is right from the get-go. And so you will both have access to both our MPH faculty, but also our MHA faculty. And then finally, our health education and promotion concentration. And our students who complete that concentration are eligible to sit for the CHES exam. And there's the cost there. Other numbers you might care about, our faculty to student ratio is approximately 1 faculty member to 10 to 11 students. And Tricia, if you could go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you. So a little bit about who we are. As a faculty, we have a core full-time faculty based here in Des Moines, Iowa. But we are complemented, and I think one of our strongest assets, we're complemented by a diverse adjunct faculty. And they're longtime committed adjunct faculty who are a number of my colleagues from practice. And to give you an example of that, one of our current faculty members who teaches our grant writing course, which is a required course for all of our students, something I advocated for when I was on our advisory committee, he is somebody who has led several private health foundations in the area and funded a lot of public health initiatives. And then he's the one actually teaching our students to write the grants. So we really bring that real world experience into our classroom. Our community partners are diverse from our advisory committee to our host sites. The thing that I want to hit home to today, most importantly, is that we are a very high touch program. So I'm going to tell you Noreen's story. Noreen is one of my students who came through the integrative learning experience. So I teach both the culminating experiences for our students. Noreen lives and works and her family is in Baltimore, Maryland. And at the time she was doing her culminating project with us, was employed at Johns Hopkins University, did a community health needs assessment, and through that real world practice experience, connected with the city of Baltimore Health Department during COVID, did a fantastic project that then opened the doors for Noreen to transition out of her current role at Johns Hopkins to the health department in Baltimore. But the other high touch part of Noreen's story is that we had another student that I knew of, an 80, who was also in Baltimore. So I put the two of them in touch. They've become part of each other's public health practice network. And now Noreen is in a position to open a door for a Nady coming along behind her for her integrative learning experience. So the things I want you to understand about us is that even it's an online program, is that we really are invested in our students knowing where you are, where you're living, where you're practicing, and helping you build your professional network from there. The end game is that you're going into practice. And also wanted to highlight our global health program. Our students have really robust opportunities to be able to partner with universities and organizations around the globe. We are right now working intensely with partners in Bogota, Colombia, and we'll be able to have an exchange program with our students and faculty there. And then going into our next slide, just to wrap up, again, no time here to be able to tell you the robust nature of our program and really introduce you to what we're about. But I would like to personally invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn and to give me a call or an email and be able to talk to you more about our program. So I will now introduce my colleague from George Mason University.
Thank you very much. So I'm Franny Dove. I'm the graduate admissions specialist from George Mason University's College of Health and Human Services. And we're going to be talking about our Department of Global and Community Health. So a little bit about George Mason University. It is Virginia's largest public research university. We're an R1 research institution. So we have a lot of facilities on campus, labs. We have a public health center that's attached to our Peterson building where you'd be doing your learning. Diversity is one of our core values, and we are located in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan region, and our proximity to D.C. Is excellent for opportunities in public health. So we offer a few different programs. We have a public health PhD with 2 different concentrations, a Master of Public Health, So 5 different concentrations: community health promotion, epidemiology, food security and nutrition, global health and health policy, a Master of Science in Global Health, and a certificate in public health. And that picture there is our beautiful Peterson Family Health Sciences Hall, where most of the classes take place, and that's on our Fairfax, Virginia campus. So the public health PhD is a 72 credit program. It has a teaching practicum, a doctoral dissertation. You'd be hand selected by faculty to work with them one-on-one through your program. And just some differences between the public health MPH and the global health MS. So as you can see, they're both 42 credits. The biggest difference is that our MPH with those 5 different concentrations offers a practicum, a 200-hour practicum in a supervised setting. A lot of our students go and work in nonprofits around the area. Because of our proximity to DC, there's a lot of businesses and public health. It's big in the public health sphere. There's a lot of opportunities there. And in global health, you pick a faculty that you might want to work with on your thesis and really focus in on research. We also offer a Generalist Certificate, and that can be taken online or in person or hybrid, kind of between both. So we have also some students sometimes opt to take our certificate program and then go into our MPH. So that's a great way to test the waters if you don't know if going right into an MPH is going to be right for you. And that's a simplified application. We have only one of our programs has a spring start. That's the Certificate of Public Health. And the deadline for that is November 1st. Most of ours start in the fall. With our PhD, December 1st is the deadline. So this year, and for the MPH, March 1st, certificate is March 1st, and our Global Health MS is April 1st. Some of our faculty research areas to highlight. As you can see, we are across the board in our research interests. So you're bound to find faculty or a few that might have similar interests to you or already doing research that you might be interested in. We've seen a lot of people interested in women's health, health behavior, global health. We have a lot of faculty who have experience dealing in local and global health spheres. Applications, we are doing them through SOFAS, which is an online community application system. The biggest thing about SOFAS is that you could apply to multiple schools with the same kinds of materials. So we require transcripts, a statement of goals and objectives. There's a specific list of what questions we'd want you to answer on those goals and objectives, but you're really telling your story. 2 letters of recommendation, 3 for the PhD program, resume, and for international students, which we have a lot of international students that attend Mason, we have an English proficiency exam and a WES evaluation as well. There's a small supplemental application, but we send that to you after the SOFAS process. Because time today is brief for the information, we have some information sessions that we always plan. These are great to attend because we have the advisor for the public health program leads them and brings current students in to answer your questions about what it's like to be a Mason student. We have a few of them that you can sign up on the public health website, and they're coming up and they'll be through each semester as well. And just contact information. So this is contact information too from our MPH, MS, and certificate advisor. She'll answer emails specifically about the program from students. I've included my information too. I'm Franny Dove. My job is to help make sure that your application process runs as smooth as possible. And I can't wait to meet some of you in the breakout rooms. And I'd like to introduce my colleague from Ohio State University College of Public Health.
All right. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. My name is Todd Toby. I'm the Assistant Director for Recruitment Admissions and Marketing within the College of Public Health. Just some quick fun facts. We were founded in 2007. First degree was awarded in 1971. That was a Master of Health Administration. We're fully accredited through CEF. CEF is the Council of Education for Public Health. Building you're seeing behind you is Coons Hall. It's the home of the College of Public Health. It's fully renovated. It's Silver LEED certified, just to increase or to roll with our mission statement to decrease our carbon footprint. As far as rankings, our MHA programs ranked 7th in the nation. We're ranked 14th among public universities in public health. And we are located in Columbus, Ohio, as far as the College of Public Health. We like to point out we're one of really the only college or university that has this collection of 7 health science colleges located on one campus. What that means for our students is collaboration. There's dentistry, medicine, nursing, optometry, pharmacy, and vet med students really all collaborating with public health. And we find that our college has been a meeting point for those individuals to learn more about public health practices that will, work within their respective fields. We also have dual and combined degrees connected with all of those programs. The faculty to student ratio, really small. Ohio State, we probably know as a gigantic university. The College of Public Health is relatively small compared to our peers. So we really have a great student networking opportunity within alumni, as well as that relationship with faculty that we really like to talk about. As far as our class profile, this is an average of our last 5 years. We get around 650 to 750 applications. We enroll around that 150 student mark. You can see a breakdown of the different specializations we have as far as the MPH, MS, MHA, PhD. And you can even go down into specifics as far as race, ethnicity. Ohio, we're a public university, so in-state tuition is very affordable. There's opportunities for out-of-state residents to receive in-state, which we definitely always talk about in this process. Cumulative GPA 3.46. We will talk a little bit more about that GPA in a bit. As far as degrees, so we have different specializations with our MPH. We have a standalone Master of Health Administration. The screen you're looking at right now is our practical degrees. So these, if they're full-time, if you can do full-time or part-time. If you do these full-time, most of our students will do an applied practical experience for the MPH or an administrative residency for the MHA in the summer between years 1 and 2. Those can vary. Either students will complete those in Columbus, in the Ohio area, or nationally or internationally. So we have a lot of preceptors in a lot of different places for our students to find those opportunities. This is going to be our more academic degrees. So Master of Science, you can see we don't have as many offerings, and then PhD. So the difference, these are not practical, meaning you will not have an applied practical experience. These are more concentrated within their specific areas. So you'll touch on foundations of public health in the MPH and MHA, where the MS and PhD will be more concentrated within that specific area. As far as admission criteria, no specific undergrad for us to speak of. We see people in a lot of different areas and backgrounds come into public health. Recommended GRE scores for MS and PhD. We don't consider GREs for our MPH or MHA. If individuals report those, we redact them. So please do not waste your money to send those to us, because we pull those out of your application. Analytical and communication skills come in a few different ways. Personal statements, we do interviews for some programs. Believe it or not, email communication, phone conversations, those get lumped in. So just, really think about the communication that you're having with all programs when you're going through this process. Experience is preferred, it's not recommended. So it's helpful for one's application, but it's certainly not required to apply to our programs. As far as the materials we need, all transcripts, right? So Ohio State students, just because you go on here, we still need that transcript sent to Sophus or Hamcast. If you've done community college, send those transcripts, even though they're on your regular transcripts. Like I said, GREs for MS and PhD only, 3 letters of recommendation. We can have up to 5. Personal statement is huge. That's really a first impression. So get that at college or really graduate style writing, and talk about a fit how do you fit into our programs? How do you fit into that respective program you're applying to? And then a resume that is updated. For international folks, unofficial transcripts or WES evaluations, and we will need either a TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo scores. Deadlines. So December 1 is a priority funding deadline to put you in consideration for different graduate level funding. February 1 is a pretty generic deadline for most of our programs. However, we do have a February 15th deadline for our fully online program, and we have a May 15th deadline for some of our other ancillary programs. I talked really fast. Here's my contact information. We'll have a breakout. I would love for you to join me, ask some more questions, but for now, I'm going to kick it off to Caitlin at St. Ambrose University.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Sound great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And welcome to our virtual St. Ambrose University experience. We are located in Davenport, Iowa, right on the Mississippi. So we border Illinois. So we're kind of a bi-city or bi-state area. We are a private Catholic university. We have a really large undergraduate population and a smaller graduate population. A lot of the programs are on site, but we are a fully online asynchronous program as an MPH. Okay, is this gonna let me advance my slides? Oh, perfect. Okay, so we have fall, spring, or summer starts. Our ultimate goal is to be a flexible program. Most of our students are coming from very different walks of life, including families, different kinds of jobs. They have a lot going on, so we try to be as flexible as possible to make our program accessible. We have a very small student body. We keep our cohorts under 30. So we really focus on mentoring from faculty. Our faculty have pretty extensive global experience working in different countries, as well as continuing practice with public health organizations, including John Snow Inc., which is based in Boston. So we do continue to utilize that continuing practice in the classroom. You can complete the program in 1.5 years full-time or 3 years part-time. We also allow students to shift gears from full to part or part to full, depending on life and whatever is going on. We also try to keep our program really affordable. So we're at $680 a credit hour. It's a 43 credit hour program with no electives. It's a generalist standard program degree. Pick your passion, apply it to the courses, and build the skill set you're looking for. Our university as a whole is very focused in our mission towards social justice, as is our program. We try to filter that into each and every course. We're looking at health equity, social justice all the time. We also are really heavily focused on person-centered service. We have an Institute for Person-Centered Care in the university, as well as an interprofessional day for all of our students, whether they're PA, PT, OT, social work, nurses, speech pathologists. We have all of our students coming together to look at different kinds of case studies. So you get that interprofessional experience at the college and university level, as well as in your classroom. This is just a quick look at our faculty. We have grown a little bit, so not everyone's represented here, but as an online program, we are mostly based in the QCA, the Quad City area, which is Illinois, Iowa, but we also have some folks coming from Wisconsin and Texas. So we, as well, we have guest lecturers coming from around the world. So this is just a look at our MPH family. We are the fighting bees, go pollinators. So we always like to say be the change, or use a bee pun whenever possible. What will I learn? Here's a few just pulled out items from our generalist degree. Why St. Ambrose? Heavy mentoring, flexible online options, internships that we work with you closely to match you with an organization that's going to prepare you with a network and the skill set that you want as you move towards graduation. And then most importantly, we are an MPH family. We have a very strong support system that filters down through our university as well. So if you're interested in more of that family approach, support, mentoring, knowing your professors, even though you're online, that's really what we shoot to do. And we value diversity in all its forms. This is a quick look at where our students are coming from. They're coming from coast to coast, heavily in the Midwest, but we do have some coming from Florida, Pennsylvania, Washington, California. So we bring in a lot of different perspectives into your classroom, which also creates a bigger network for you. We also look closely at our first generation students. We are here to support you. And we always seek to find ways to better support those students and help them be successful. We have several options for you, an online asynchronous MPH program, no GRE required. We also have a micro-credential in epidemiology that is a 4-course series out of our MPH that can easily transfer into the MPH if you want to dabble a little bit and then roll into the MPH later. And then we have a dual degree option with our MSW program. This is a quick picture of the QCA. So on the right-hand side, you have Davenport, Iowa, and on the left, you have Rock Island, Illinois. So this is the Mississippi flowing through. And I look forward to connecting with you in the breakout rooms. Also, take quick note of my contact info. I'm happy to chat anytime, or also connect you to faculty to learn more about that in-class experience. So thank you very much. And before I end, I will hand it over to the University of California, Berkeley, and their School of Public Health program.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Michelle Azarine. I am the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment at the UC Berkeley School of Public Health. I'm also an alum of our MPH program in Public Health Nutrition. And so I'm really excited to be here to speak with you all today because I have been in your shoes. So before I begin, I want to first talk about our mission, vision, and values as a School of Public Health. We believe in health as a right, strength through diversity, thinking forward and innovating, and impact first. With these values in mind, our mission is to improve population health, especially for the most vulnerable, through radical collaborations to meet the diverse needs of our diverse communities, preeminent education to train transformational leaders and change makers in public health, and transformational research. Berkeley, as you may know, is a top-tier research institution, and so we are looking for students who share these same mission, vision, and values in order to transform public health outcomes. So if any of this aligns with you and what you seek to achieve as a future public health professional, please consider applying to Berkeley. This is an overview of the degrees we offer. We have around 35 different degree programs, including 2-year Masters of Public Health. We have an accelerated 1-year Master of Public Health for individuals who already have a master's or doctoral degree. We have a number of joint medical programs, partnerships with UCSF and Stanford, a Doctor of Public Health program. We have an online on-campus MPH program. All of the coursework is online, but there are 2 required on-campus visits in the summer. It's a 2-week visit. We have PhD programs, concurrent MPH programs in public policy, journalism, city planning, social welfare, and business. And then we have academic master's programs, MA and MS programs for those of you who may be more focused on an academic degree and getting those research skills. These are the different concentrations we offer for those different degree programs. We offer biostatistics, epidemiology, environmental health sciences, global health and environment, health policy and management, infectious diseases and vaccinology, maternal, child, and adolescent health, public health nutrition, health and social behavior, and then finally health and medical sciences, which is our concentration for individuals who are interested in completing our joint medical program with UCSF. So why Berkeley Public Health? Many of you may know that UC Berkeley is the birthplace of social justice. During my time as a student and as a staff person at the school, I have seen our students achieve amazing things, calling out institutional oppression, calling out things that they want to see changed both at our school and in our society as a whole. They truly are our change makers, and I believe that they're going to be the ones leading, transformation in public health. In addition to that, we have a DREAM office called DREAM stands for Diversity, Respect, Equity, Action, and Multiculturalism. This office is dedicating to supported students from underrepresented minority and first generation backgrounds. We are not tied to a medical school. Some may see that as a weakness. We actually see it as a strength. I know for myself and many of my friends from graduate school, we were thinking about medical school at one point and realized actually we're more interested in public health and community health. And I think by not being tied to a medical school, we allow students to kind of focus on public health and the breadth that public health has to offer. And in addition to that, get hands-on experience in the classroom. This is something I can also speak to firsthand. As a student in the program, I was able to work with real-world public health organizations. We also require a summer internship for those of you interested in the 2-year MPH program, and every single student gets an internship placement, which is awesome. We're connected to an incredibly diverse Bay Area community. We have a career services department that they put on awesome professional development and leadership events so that you can get both the hard and soft skills that you need to be a change maker in public health. They also support with internship and job placements. And then finally, I mentioned the joint medical program earlier, and then some of our interdisciplinary partnerships. So as a student, I was also able to take courses outside of the School of Public Health in business, at the School of Information, School of Journalism. And I think being able to kind of step outside of the public health bubble and get training from other schools allowed me to become a more well-rounded public health professional. And so I think that's really something unique about our school is, we're on a huge campus. And so students can really kind of, get learning from all different areas and students from all different backgrounds. Really quickly, this is our school by the numbers. The 720 graduate students number that you see at the bottom left includes our online students. If we're looking at just the on-campus students, we're actually pretty small, with about 500 or 400 to 500 on-campus students. About half of our students are students of color, and then we have a number of international students as well. We can go over more about our demographics and admissions rates in the breakout session if you're interested in that later. I know I'm running out of time, so I'll go over the admissions requirements and how to apply in our breakout sessions. I hope to see you there. Some of our programs are on SOFA, some aren't, and so definitely come to our session to learn more about the specifics of how to apply. But something important to note is that our deadline is December 1st, so you'll want to start looking at applying now. My contact information is here. If you aren't able to join our breakout, please email us and we'll be happy to support you on your graduate school journey. I will be introducing West Virginia School of Public Health next.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
Sound good?
Okay, great, thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the WVU School of Public Health. So my name is Lauren Devine and I'm the Director of Admissions and Recruitment. My contact information is listed there. It is a joint email address with the other person on the admissions team. So someone is always there to answer your questions. I also run our student organization, the Dean's Ambassadors, and who are students that help with recruitment. And they push a lot of the content and kind of run our Instagram page. So if you're interested in what the students are doing or what it's like to be a student at the WVU School of Public Health, I would encourage you to check out our Instagram page and some of the things that they have going on. So WVU, West Virginia University, is located in Morgantown, West Virginia. So we are at the very top of the state. We're very close to the PA border. We're about an hour and 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. We are R1 research institution. 82% of faculty hold the highest degree. We have 480 student organizations across campus. There are 3 campuses in Morgantown that are all connected by our personal rapid transit system, which is a monorail that basically connects all the campuses. And we have 18 sports that are competing in the Big 12 conference. Morgantown is definitely a college town, so a lot of the town is kind of intermixed with the campuses. And we give a lot back to the town and collaborate, and we earned the Carnegie Foundation Community Engagement classification based on those volunteer hours and community collaboration. So the School of Public Health at WVU is accredited by the Council for Education and Public Health. We added 2 new programs, which I'm going to touch on this year. In this presentation, we added 2 new programs. I'm going to talk about them. So when we talk about our school, we really like to kind of focus on 4 main highlights. Our location access, being in Morgantown, gives us a really good area to collaborate with different public health agencies, not just in Morgantown, but across the state as well, since we are the only accredited school of public health in the state of West Virginia. We like to set high standards for our students. A lot of our degrees, as you know, public health is practice-based, but we really like to push. If you're interested in research, we're a really good place to come. A lot of our faculty are experts in the field doing research and very eager to have students on research projects with them. And kind of because of all these things and our push for hands-on learning or a push for collaboration, we really focus on hands-on learning in the community. So about those programs that we have a Master's of Science in Biostatistics. We have a Master of Science in Population Health, which is a program that we just added this year. It is a fully online program. We also added the MS in Industrial Hygiene. We have the MHA program, which both has a residential and an online option. Being in Morgantown, we are connected to 2 huge hospital systems, so we have a lot of experience for MHA collaboration. We also have an MPH program that has the 4 majors listed. In the RMPH program, you will start at a general MPH degree for your first year and then go on to your specialization in your second year. We also have a PhD program that has the 3 majors that are listed there. So the important stuff, the application deadlines and process, you will need all of your transcripts. So just like Ohio State mentioned, if you went to WVU, you still have to send your transcripts because we are on SOFAs. Letters of recommendation, most of the programs need 3. The only ones that do not are the MS in Population Health and the MHA, both just require 2. You'll need a personal statement, why you really should focus on how you would be a good fit for our school. Being in a more Appalachian region, we have a little bit more different research focus. So if that's something you're interested, you're definitely going to want to highlight why you would be such a good fit. We'll need a CV and resume, a TOEFL, ITS, or Duolingo score if you are an international student, and the GRE is not required for any of our programs. We do have a 2-step process. The MHA and MPH and PhD are all on SOFAs, and then once accepted, you will get prompted to do the supplemental application. All of the MS programs that I listed are only the supplemental application. Our deadlines, the PhD deadline is December 15th, and then all of the rest are June 30th, and we only do fall intake for our programs at this time. So a few of the different things, we are a much smaller school. WVU is a very large public institution, but the School of Public Health, is you get a lot more one-on-one faculty attention. As I mentioned, we have a lot of research involvement that trickles down all the way to our undergrad program. We really like our students to be involved. Faculty are very eager to have them involved. We also have our own Director of Career Services and Student Success, Mr. Scott McIntosh, whose whole purpose is to make sure that our students have a job after graduation. We also have a Student Association of Public Health. They are run by students. They kind of do a lot of the programming things behind behind our school, and it's undergrad through PhD. So there's kind of lots of variety of students there. Obviously, we're still in the pandemic, and in the pandemic year, we were not able to do things in person as much, but we're all doing our best. We're still trying. We did have a welcome back event that they had planned, which went over very well and was very successful. Our students definitely are a big family. They really like to do things together, get to help each other and get to know each other. So we really kind of do like to push that big family aspect that we have. So if you're interested in any more of these programs and want to learn a little bit more about them, please come see me in the breakout session. I would be more than happy to talk to you guys. I think I am the last presenter, so I am going to turn it over so we can have the Q&A portion.
Great, thank you to all of our presenters. That was very informative. I'm sure our prospective students got some great information out of all of that. So as Lauren said, we're gonna get started with our Q&A. Up on the screen are some instructions again, just to remind you all how to use the chat, which is where we'll be reading our questions from in order to get this started. So I will go ahead and kick it off with the question I saw in the chat, which is, what's the difference between a Master of Public Health, a Master of Science, and a Master of Science in Public Health?
Well, I can start off and give you a little bit about what's happening at FIU. And so in our situation, what we offer is a master's in public health, which is a more professional degree. So our programs are set to prepare you to interpret data from research, how you're going to move that data forward professionally in a career, and really prepare you for that career, right? I think a master's of science is more on the research side. So those students that attend our college and our programs will have that professional experience and have the opportunity to later on, if they want to take a research track, they can go complete a PhD.
I guess I would just add on, yes, completely agree with Jose's perspective there, that functionally, it probably doesn't really matter if you are going to get a job at a state health department or a local public health department. I think what would be important, if it's a master's with an emphasis in public health, like a concentration like epidemiology, then you kind of put your career path in that direction. Whereas an MPH is, frankly, a relatively new degree in the field, and it's our point of entry into the practice. But now we have so many undergraduate bachelor's in public health programs coming on board as well. So at the end of the day, it's what you do with your education. And I don't think you are locking yourself into any one path, regardless of the choice you make.
Thank you for both of those answers. We also got a question earlier, which is asking about work experience when applying for MPH and if that's necessary. I did see that some of you all answered that in the chat, but I think it'd be helpful just to give a quick little update for anyone who might have missed that.
I can pop in here coming from St. Ambrose. I think every program is very different, but I will say that we really value a diverse range of experiences, perspectives, backgrounds. So you are more than welcome to apply regardless of your academic major, your professional background. It more than likely applies in some way with transferable skills. So we welcome all range of experiences.
WVU is really similar in that our students that come into our master's program are kind of a mixed bag. So we'll have some that come directly from our undergrad program, but a lot of them are from other majors on campus that have discovered public health through one way or another. So we really don't require any type of prior experience, for those generalist degrees.
Thank you for covering that for everyone. We got another question, which I think many people are probably wondering, which is, what do you look for in an application, and what do you think are some of the key components?
I can take a crack at that. I would say that is changing so much. And even within ASPPH, I know I've been participating in webinars and trainings where we are really broadening what we're looking for in applicants in the field. And so my thing I look for, hands down most important, is what is your why? why do you want to join my career field? What is your motivation? What do you care about your community, about the work, and about health equity? Those are the things I'm really interested in. And I think the challenge, and I would guess probably everybody could relate to this, with the SOPIS application, you can apply to a whole lot of programs at one time. And I think it is very apparent when that happens. And so be as authentically you and come from your lived experience and tell us about why you want to be in the field. Don't try to answer the right prompts to serve everybody's needs, because that's just not possible.
Yeah, to build off of Janine, because I think that was very well put probably for everyone. But also when you're doing your application, if there are faculty that you want to work with, if there are reasons that that specific university would fit you, we love the individualization of would you be a fit at this particular university too. So when you're in your application, you're also telling your story, especially if you have academic improvement over time, where you might go look at my transcript, but as you notice, when I really hit my stride, when I found my interest, look how great I've been doing. That helps too, because that adds extra context to a document that you can't write little notes on.
I'd like to add something to the conversation. Excuse me, probably a little bit different in the sense of those students that are thinking about a PhD, because I've had some questions in the chat, and I get this question a lot when speaking with students like yourselves. As far as when doing a PhD, what should I be looking for? And there's a lot of things, but I've always stressed the most important, or one of the most important things, is proper mentorship. Depending on the type of research that you're going to want to or know that you're doing, you can look at the top universities in the college, I mean, in the US, and that's fine, which that's an important factor. But I think more important than that is that you get the proper support for your research, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the expert in when you finish your PhD in that line of research, right? So you want to make sure that you're taking that to that basically that your research findings and will be properly supported by faculty. So that's something very important, and you have a strong foundation from your master's. I've also received questions of students that have a bachelor's degree and wanting to move straight into a PhD, and our programs do allow that. Now, the question then that a lot of our faculty will ask is, what kind of research experience you have? What is your writing samples? And a lot of people don't understand. It's not like see, spot, run kind of a thing. It's how what you've written to for grants is the proper writing samples so that they can review. So yes, you can do it if you're coming from an undergraduate degree. But the questions will be asked: what kind of experience, what kind of research have you done, or research experience you have? And for those wanting to do a PhD, also part of your findings, your formula is: will I be properly supported for my research? Thank you.
Yeah, those answers were definitely helpful for me. It definitely filled in some of those gaps in there. We just got a question that I think is pretty related, which is, what are the most important things to keep in mind when writing a statement of purpose? What kind of things should be stressed there? Or I guess, what is the main purpose of the statement of purpose?
I can jump in here. At Berkeley, we actually require 2 essays, a statement of purpose and a personal history statement. Some schools will require only a statement of purpose. Others may also have something similar to a personal history statement, or they'll call it a diversity statement, or have other supplemental questions. So just be sure to do the research of all the different requirements for the schools you're interested in. For us, the personal history statement is more of the place to talk about, who you are as a person, describing any barriers that you've had to overcome and how you got to where you are. Whereas the statement of purpose is really focused on your purpose and applying to UC Berkeley, why that specific degree program or concentration, what your career goals are, and kind of how our program will help you get there. Of course, there's going to be some overlap between the two, but they are distinct essays. So that's just something to keep in mind for us.
And I'll just add, I think this probably goes for most people, that we're looking for our university's values in your statement. I mentioned in my presentation, we focus on social justice. This comes out of our university's mission. We want you to be a good fit for our program if you're investing your own time and money into the program. So we're also looking to see you're a good fit for us, but we want to be a good fit for you. And I think that probably goes for everyone here.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. I don't think I can probably state it any better than that. I mean, when we review these applications, obviously your grades, all that falls in is part of the holistic review, but it is important that we both have the right fit. We want you, when you guys graduate, you're going to be representing our college, and that goes along with all my colleagues here. You're going to be representing these schools, these programs. So we want to make sure that you are the right fit for us and we are the right fit for you. Thank you.
So I've got another big question, which will probably be our last, which is what are some options regarding financial aid, including teaching assistantships, research fellows, FAFSA, and other merit-based scholarships? So I guess just what are some options that students can take to be able to help afford their education?
I think a lot of all the colleagues here can probably say that there's going to be graduate assistantships in some form. I know that we have a limited number of graduate research assistantships, and the application goes out in the spring, and that's an opportunity to work side by side with some of the faculty on their research. So that's a great way to get involved. There's also graduate positions across campus that pay stipends in different areas. We have a number of scholarship opportunities that are given through the Provost Office, the Office of Financial Aid. One of our scholarships that's been recently introduced is that we have an Inclusive Excellence Scholarship for first-generation students that actually pays for their whole graduate education. And that's open in the spring as well after you submit an application. So I'd say, like, when you're looking at all of them, financial aid, like provost office, in graduate research and teaching opportunities.
Yeah, that's such a big question that can have so many details. I think that was a fantastic overview of some of those options, though. I'm going to see if there's maybe one more question that we want to answer, which is, what are any advantages to obtaining a dual degree, for instance, a Master of Public Health and a Master's of Social Work?
Yeah, so this is actually a nice segue from funding. So how I like to spin this for individuals to think about, and it might be different, but I assume it's probably the same at most other universities, is a Master of Social Work is a 2-year program. A Master of Public Health is a 2-year program if you do them separately. If you do them as a dual degree, at Ohio State, it's 3 years. So think of that as a funding award. You're shaving a year of funding off of 2 great degrees that you can get right out into the field and use both of those. And it's not hedging your bets in a way, but it's just taking 2 really adaptable degrees and using those practically. Look at different universities, what they have displayed as dual or combined degrees. It's not what they're limited to. Those are probably just the more practical and different dual degree options that they've seen students do. But we've had conversations with some very obscure different graduate degrees where we try to work those into the different MPH or PhD options that we have.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question. And I would again go back to why. Why do you want the MSW? Why do you want the MPH? So I think that as we shift to Public Health 3.0, I have been doing some surveys with local public health departments coming through the pandemic and the different approach. I have some small rural health departments who are looking to hire an MSW because as they shift their focus more to social determinants of health, that's the culture, or even anthropology students. I mean, just a real mix. Our field is really shifting in that regard. But you're licensed as an MSW to do a different set of skills and work than you are an MPH. So again, I think it's really worthwhile to do some deep reflection and talk to people in the field to see what will you be doing with those degrees, because it's a big investment of time and money.
think you both brought up like the two halves of that dual coin, so that was very helpful. I'm going to take a minute to pivot, and I'm going to share some of our upcoming events with you all before we can go into our breakout rooms and learn more about these fantastic programs. So on the screen, you will see some of our upcoming events in October, which starts tomorrow. So, you know, they're pretty soon. I'll share a link in the chat about the events page that is also up on your screen. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I'm sure you're going to get a lot from these breakout rooms. So I will stop talking and I will open them up for everyone. Let's let our presenters get in there, get set up a little bit, and then you all are free to jump in and join them. If anyone has any issues getting into your breakout rooms, which I will share how to get into on the screen, feel free to just unmute yourself, ask me to add you to a room, or chat me. Either one is equally as fine, as